Another one. Another one. Touchdown Jags! Ball game!
Another Jags podcast.
Welcome to another Jags podcast, episode 31. Tonight we are going to be previewing the Jaguars versus the Titans this Sunday. We are ready. We cannot wait for this. We have, again, our full squad with us, Joey, Robert, and Jason. We all are doing good because we're still riding high from the Jags, Pat, so we don't even ask that question. Before we get started, we want to remind everyone that we are on Twitter at Another Jags Pod. We are on Facebook and Instagram at Another Jags Podcast. You can find us on YouTube at Another Jags Podcast. Go to our website, anotherjagspodcast.com, and find all that stuff there if you'd like. Spread the word on the greatest team in the NFL, the Jacksonville Jaguars, with the greatest podcast for that team, Another Jags Podcast. Let's get right to it, boys. What are we expecting from this Titans-Jaguars game this Sunday, 1 o'clock kick?
We're going to blow them out.
All right, right off the bat.
Yeah.
You're going 2 blowouts in a row.
Yep. And I said it about the Giants, too, but we didn't.
No, we didn't.
So this is 3 weeks in a row. But
yeah, you were actually really confident about the Giants game.
Yeah.
Still covered the spread, though.
Yeah. Yes, we did. 2 weeks in a row. Let's go. The only thing I won that day, but that's okay. But yeah, I think, man, I watched the Titans and the Texans game, and they both look like just water trash, and I don't see us having any issues scoring on them or playing defense. I mean, just to put in perspective, the Titans ran like 7 plays out of Wildcat with Derrick Henry. Just let that sink in.
Which he is not a Wildcat.
Just
Wow.
let that sink in.
Wow. That's very telling.
Did somebody lose a bet on that one? I mean,
Maybe they thought he was Rex Burkhead. Wanted to run a Wildcat.
I've heard that happens, James. I have to agree. I mean, it is shocking because I thought Tennessee or Houston, one of the two, would be pretty decent this year, and they both look like hot garbage, period. I think 24-10 for going with a prediction there. Jags for sure.
Okay. Already giving your prediction.
Yeah, but you said what I think, so that's what I think.
That's true. I did say that. Say your score prediction again so I can hear it.
24-10.
24-10. All right.
That'd be for the Jaguars.
Right, yes.
So if you're picking for the Jaguars, that means we're probably going to lose.
That's
Probably.
You picked the Jags to beat the Giants.
I did.
Okay. Pretty.
I mean, my concern is Tennessee, man. It's Tennessee. We always should beat them for the most part in the last however long, and they have our number. It's just one of those things. It's, I don't know what it is, a hex, something, but
Psychological.
God, this year it's got to be broken. Has to be.
Has to be.
I'm just going to say what everyone else said. I think we're going to absolutely blow them out. I don't think this is even going to be a challenge, this one. I feel like the following Tennessee game I'm going to be a little bit more nervous for, but this one, I think we absolutely demolish them. I mean, if we're going predictions, I'm going to go 31-3. I'm going to go a true blowout pretty much.
That is a true blowout.
I like that score.
I like that too.
Yeah.
It's even better than 24-10.
To all you math majors out there, it is.
41-20.
Oh, man. 20? Garbage points?
Whoa, more like
Yeah,
41?
Yeah.
That's fair.
I like that score a lot, too.
Garbage points.
I like that score a lot. Is Blaine Gabbert gonna start it again?
They don't know. Mariota, they said he's progressing nicely. It was the last thing they've said about him.
God, I really hope he does.
I think Mariota watched the tape of the Jags Patriots game and go, no, coach, still can't feel my fingers.
Yeah, why would
and
you
then slammed his door and goes, ow!
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I totally get what you're saying, Joey, in terms of the hex and all that stuff, but we are so much better than this team. It's not even funny. Think about how much better we were than the Patriots with Tom Brady on the other side.
I mean, we were better than that team last year.
I don't know if this is breaking news or not, but to our listeners, Blaine Gabbert is no Tom Brady. Marcus Mariota is no Tom Brady. Delaney Walker's gone for the year. They had 3 offensive linemen out last week against Houston. I don't know if any of those guys are going to be back. So that's something, but they're a bad team. I've been saying it, since the beginning of the season. I'll continue to say it. Yes, they beat Houston at home last week, but I think like Roberts kind of says about divisional games, you just never know which way the ball's going to bounce a lot of times in those games. It was a home win for Tennessee. Fine, we'll give them that one, sure. But does that suddenly make them a threat to the Jags? No. But I will say this. Keep this in mind for this game. If the Jaguars were to lose, which they're not, but if they were, they fall to second place in the division. Tennessee is in first place if they win. So it is a huge game.
That's-
This game is actually bigger in terms of the real importance of the season and what the Jaguars' first goals are, which is winning the division. This game is more important than the Patriots game. Yes, we had something to prove, and it was a revenge game, whatever you want to call it, against New England. But this game is a divisional game. It holds a lot of weight. So the Jags, it is very important. And I think the coaches gave them Sunday, but I think Monday when they came back into work and started looking at film and all that stuff, they immediately had to switch their mindset to go, okay, yesterday's over. Now we have to focus on this game. Because of that, and I believe the coaches and the players like Telvin Smith and Calais Campbell and all the leaders there said, we have to focus now. I agree with you guys. I think it's going to be a blowout. And I'm going to say, I'm going to say 34-6. Say 2 field goals for the Titans.
Okay.
The Titans have no talent anywhere. Jarrell Casey is okay.
And do you think Malik remembers what Jarrell Casey said last year?
Do you think the whole team does?
Do you think they're talking about that at all this year?
Absolutely. But outside of Jarrell Casey, you're looking at guys like Adoree Jackson, Logan Ryan, Malcolm Butler, who is a popular name, but he has been getting burnt this year.
Hey, don't forget, number 37, Jonathan Cyprian.
I don't think he's even playing.
Oh, yeah, he tore his ACL, didn't he? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, because that's why they signed Kenny Vaccaro.
I kind of do feel bad about that.
Yeah. Kenny Vaccaro is not good either. He was getting burnt up and down the field by Will Fuller last game. They cannot tackle. They have horrible tackling. They missed so many tackles on Lamar Miller. It was mind-blowing. Imagine what Corey Grant or Fournette could do to those guys. I mean, it's going to be absolutely insane. The bottom line is, and this is talking about their defense, you need athletic linebackers to beat us. And that is the opposite of what they have. Harold Landry's okay, but he's injured. He's kind of like Campbell, but more injured, like kind of coming in sometimes, playing a little bit. He's only playing 35 snaps the whole season. You need to have speed on defense, and they just don't have it.
Is Brian Orakpo still on that team?
Yes, he is. He's their right offensive line.
No,
No.
linebacker.
No, he's a linebacker outside.
Yeah. He's
Okay, so he's still on the team.
Yeah.
All right, I was just curious. Not that makes
But
any
he's not
difference
any
either
good.
way.
But what's going to be important for us is converting on third downs. They did stop Houston 6 times on third down. Now, Houston's offense is terrible. Their offensive line is horrendous. They beat the Texans 17-20, and they had to score with a fake punt on the first drive of the game. It was like a 70-yard fake punt. It was sad. Blaine Gabbert had a lateral throw that was like behind the line of scrimmage, went backwards, and the refs like cut him a break and said it went forward when it didn't. But it got picked up and ran back, and the refs gave it to the Titans. Like, they were this close to, on many different plays, to losing. The final drive of the game, somebody, I can't remember who it was, had a terrible fumble that 2 guys couldn't pick up on the Texans and like went out of bounds. It's like they were so close to losing that game, and it was the Texans, and they're bad. So I have no fear at all of that team.
I think as this year progresses, the Jags are going to just so outdistance themselves from the field in our division. I mean, we're in a bad division.
It is.
I'm
That's not saying
totally
a lot.
okay with that.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
New England has been in a bad division their entire dynasty, except a couple years when the Jets had Sanchez and
Steelers, couple years.
not in their division.
Oh,
though.
true. Good point.
You know, so I'm just saying, like, it's everyone's going to try and say that about the Jags, but great teams play in bad divisions a lot as well. So I'll leave that at that. But anyway, we had a Twitter question about the running back situation because Leonard Fournette is kind of still up in the air whether he's going to play. So we wanted to address that. I think, Jason, you have that.
Yes, this Twitter question comes from Chris Hunter, and he's on Twitter at Chris_Hunter7. And he says, can the Yeldon-Grant combo win us 12 wins if Fournette was out significant time?
Yes. Because I don't think it's Yeldon and Grant winning us those games. I think it's Pro Bowl Bortles, right, Joey?
Hey, man.
And our
But he means like at the running back position, those 2 guys.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I do. Without a doubt. I think they get that this week. The first win was this past Sunday against New England. So that's the first win of the 12 he's asking about. The second one comes this Sunday. I don't think they're going to play Fournette this week. I don't know why they would. They should not need Leonard Fournette to beat the Titans. So rest him another week. Really?
But they're not going to look at it like that, though.
But they should, shouldn't they?
No.
Why
Because like you
wouldn't they?
said, this is a divisional game. This is like big deal right here. If you drop this game, you're playing catch up for who knows how long until the Titans lose again.
So you're saying they beat them 41-21 if Fournette's in the game?
I'm saying 41-20.
20, sorry.
And
Whoa.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't even
Yeah.
get an extra point.
and Fournette's in the game. I'm planning on him playing.
So what is their score without?
I think if Fournette doesn't play, it's 30-20.
All right.
I think
That's a big difference.
He's good for about 10 points because I just don't know how long the Corey Grant gimmicky stuff's gonna hold up for. Like, I know it's worked, but I just don't know. It's only a matter of time before teams figure that out, in my opinion. If you combine it with a Fournette and Yeldon, I think it could work the whole season. But if that becomes like one of your primary sources of offense, I think that productivity will go down a little bit.
Yeah, I think Yeldon is a really solid 15, 16 carry back, but if he's getting any more than that, I really don't know how well he's going to do for us. So
I think it's even a little too high.
yeah, that'd be pushing it. But if he's anywhere close to cracking 20, I think he's going to start struggling. So I think we would definitely win without Fournette. I still think we could get that many wins, but we would definitely be relying heavily on the pass and relying on Grant to keep up the same production that he has currently.
I hear what y'all are saying about, can they keep up that kind of play calling with Grant? But I'm looking at it from a totally different perspective. The Tennessee offense is awful, and our defense is very, very good. So we all want there to be a blowout, and there very well could be. But at the same time, a win is a win, and if you can rest Fournette in a hamstring that is, popping up a lot for him. We've talked about his durability, Robert especially. This is the game to me where, use Yeldon, use Grant when you can, and expect the defense to get you the ball around midfield in almost every single possession.
This game, I'm fine sitting Fournette. I know we probably won't. I would be fine sitting him because I think we could destroy them with or without him.
First off, I think if he wasn't 80, 90% and good enough to go for the Patriots game, there's no way he's playing this weekend. I think he's definitely out. If you listen to our last podcast, I'm not worried about that. I think we'll be fine with the duo we have. And we're also forgetting about one thing, the secret weapon, man. Touchdown Tommy.
Oh.
I mean, come on.
Is this a joke?
It's not a joke at all.
Seems
2 touchdowns last year,
seems
one
like a
game.
joke.
2 touchdowns, one game.
But I was.
Are we responding to that, or are we just going to move on?
No, we're ignoring it. Just like his Lambo game ball a couple weeks ago. Last episode, talking about when Leonard Fournette is in the game, the offense is totally different, and it just seems like he's clicking. So where's the trepidation? Where's this coming from? Like we're saying now, if he doesn't play now, they're going to score 10 points less.
Well, I'm
confused.
No, it's like I said. I mean Corey Grant as a running back averages like 2 yards a carry. He gets all of his yards as a wide receiver. As much as we want to think of him as a running back, he is more of a wide receiver. He's got 6 receptions for 56 yards. Running the ball, I think he's literally averaging like 2.1 yards per carry. He's not a good running back. Okay, so now you're looking at your running backs being TJ Yeldon and Brandon Wilds. So now those are your platooned running backs. So when you're on 3rd and 1 and TJ Yeldon has driven the entire drive and you need 1 yard, you're comfortable with Brandon Wilds coming in?
No, Bortles runs it at that point.
Exactly. And that's what I was going to say is Bortles becomes your best running back if Fournette's not in the game. And that's the truth of it. Just having Fournette in the game just creates a whole nother dynamic to your offense. And when you phrase it like you did earlier, James, that this game is important for the division, whereas the Patriots game wasn't. Is it hard to believe that the coaches held Fournette out of the Patriots game to save him for this game, viewing this game as more important for their playoff chances?
It's possible, man. I just really think he's hurt. It's bad.
I do too.
I mean, look at Lee when he had that hamstring injury that lasted an entire season because he kept trying to come back. I mean, those things just with those guys, man.
I agree.
Muscular dudes, super fast. I mean, that is just a bad injury to have.
And the other side of that too is pain tolerance. Everybody's pain tolerance is completely different. And
You calling him a wuss?
I'm not.
You won't say it to his face.
Not necessarily a wuss, but I mean, certain things people can play through, and then this is one that like you look at an Alan Hearns. I mean, he was able to go through a sports hernia through half of his season.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, but a hamstring injury,
Yeah.
if it's bad, it's not something. Pain tolerance is out the window because you just can't do it. Your body will physically not let you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a matter of like being able to run through it. It's a matter of I go to run and my leg doesn't work. If it's not bad, then yes, it is pain tolerance. So, we don't know. We're obviously not in the locker room and in the rehab room, but I think it's bad.
A broken finger is like pain tolerance. A hamstring is is literally.
But
can't
there's guys
run.
that go through hamstring stuff that
Not
still play
running
through
backs that had to explode through holes when they get the ball. I mean,
Really?
that's-
Yeah.
it. To go from saying I could go back into the game in that game to not being able to play who knows how many games, that's crazy.
We don't know that it was Fournette that said he couldn't play though. It could have been the coaching staff.
Well, every athlete says they can go back into the game. I
Yeah.
mean, Aaron Rodgers came back after his knee was, annihilated.
Well,
and
actually,
came-
Jay Cutler did.
well, yeah.
Smoking Jay.
Respect.
All right. Well, how about we use Joey's Tommy Bogue comment to go to our next Twitter question?
I mean, sure. But I'll say this. I don't think he plays this Sunday. I will say that.
This is from Idaho native, and he is at Brady Bower 2. So if you type Brady Bower 1, you won't find him.
No.
Brady Bower 2. And he says, is Tommy Bohannon's roster spot in jeopardy with Niles Paul getting the fullback looks?
First of all, I'd like for that guy to never mention Tommy Bo's name like that again, or I have a serious problem with him, whoever he is.
Idaho native, why?
What's that? Because it's
That's
touchdown
a
Tommy.
good question. I saw Niles Paul lined up in the fullback position, and I was like, oh.
That's because you love Niles Paul.
I do love Niles Paul, but I thought it was weird that he was lined up where Tommy Bowe usually is.
I agree as well.
But can I answer this one? Because I think I have a good answer
Yeah,
for
go
this
for
one.
it.
Okay, and I kind of mentioned it on our last podcast, episode 30, but I think with the running back we have in the backfield changes the dynamic of our offense. So if Fournette's in the game, you want Bowe in there, and you want Bowe blowing up in the hole or hitting the first linebacker that scrapes. But with Yeldon or Corey Grant, where it's like a coin flip if we're going to throw it or not, you want a guy who can show, block, and then release on a route effectively, like we saw against in the Patriots game. He was wide open. Niles Paul is perfect for that role. You forget about him all game, and then at the end of the game, he's just standing wide open on the sidelines. You're like, oh, crap, I forgot he was in the game. I like Niles Paul, you're right, but I think there's a place for both of them.
Do you think that might come down to if Fournette doesn't come back because it's serious for a while and possibly another injury to one of the guys we've got? I mean, at that point, you're going to have to go out and get somebody else, right?
Unless they love Brandon Wilds.
But it doesn't seem like they do.
It's hard to know, but I don't.
It's hard to believe we picked up a guy off of a practice squad and he's instantly going to be our new top guy.
Well, I mean, he would just be
behind
Right.
Yeldon, but even then, you can't put too much faith in that.
I don't really have anything to add.
You don't like Tommy Bowe? Wow.
I do. I just don't. I think his position is fine. I don't think he's going anywhere.
But would you rather use that position group for like let's say it came down between Tommy Bowe and Rashad Green, who would you rather have?
Green's already cut.
Tommy
isn't he?
Green's gone.
No, he's
Green's
back on the team. Back
is
on
he?
the team.
Oh, yeah.
Cam Robinson.
Yeah.
I'd rather have Tommy Bowe.
Yeah, definitely Tommy Bowe. I mean, Green doesn't do anything for us right now.
What about Tommy Bowe or Lorente McRae?
Oh,
Ooh,
Lorente
McRae, 9 out of 10 times.
Because I think next season that might be a bubble spot for both those guys.
Wow.
Definitely
You're
McRae.
Really looking ahead.
You got to.
I'm trying to enjoy the moment.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Sorry, it's getting late and I'm getting tired.
It's okay. Do you want to go to the third Twitter question?
Let's do it.
All right. Rapid fire Twitter questions. This is from Patrick Jackson at radius_Johansson.
Oh.
Longtime listener of the program.
Second time question asker.
Probably more
Inquirer,
than that,
we'll
to
say.
be honest. But
Love
No?
it.
yeah.
Okay.
Love it.
He says, is Dante Moncrief dropping too many catchable balls? Is our running back injury situation a concern? Great to see that depth, that offensive line really paying off. Two-part
He's
question.
he's a lot like Jason. He gets a lot
Yeah, I
of questions.
think that's
in on
why
one
we-
swipe.
I think that's why we get along.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a lot.
I'll go with the Moncrief one. I mean, again, like we talked about last episode, I think the difference between week 1 and week 2 was drastic. I mean, that one, he could have had that big deep ball, but that was a hard catch no matter what. I mean, I don't think he's dropping too many passes. As long as he keeps that same momentum going into the coming weeks.
I hate to say it's not a concern because you don't want to see that, but I think it's more him trying to find his groove and fit in with the team and kind of get back into playing because it's been off and on. If that's it, then I'm fine with it. I think he's going to be okay. But yeah, if it keeps happening, man, I mean, nobody stays in the league dropping balls.
You got to remember about Dante Moncrief, too, is he was injured a lot last year. So he wasn't like the traditional receiver that's coming into a new team, like fresh off of a bunch of snaps. He was hurt a lot last year. So that's a good point. Finding his rhythm may take him a little bit. Good to see DJ Chark get involved a little bit more week to week. It kind of seems like they're integrating him slowly, but I'm cool with that. If he takes over those snaps by the end of the year, I mean, I think most fans would be okay with that. You know, Moncrief, like we said last episode, is doing what he was brought in to do. And I think you'll really see him exploit the Titans secondary because, I mean, they have nobody. Logan Ryan, LaShawn Sims, Adoree Jackson, Malcolm Butler, Kevin Byrd, Kenny Vaccaro. None of those guys are great cover guys. I mean, some of them will hit you when you catch it, but none of them are going to, like, intercept the ball. not too concerned, especially with our division. We're kind of a weak division secondary wise. So
I don't think it's so much what's going to happen with Moncrief based on him dropping balls. I think what we're going to see is Keelan Cole is going to continue to show out, which I believe he's going to do again this week, by the way. I think D.D. Westbrook is going to start getting more looks, and just because of that, Moncrief's opportunities are going to shrink. But when he is given the opportunity, I think he's going to make plays. I just don't think it'll be, Jason said earlier, he's a curl route runner. That's why we brought him here. So I think you're going to see that. I loved his touchdown reception against the Patriots. That was a great catch. So no, I think he's going to continue to grow. It takes a little time for quarterbacks and wide receivers to get that, I don't know what you even call it, camaraderie or whatever. But no, I'm not worried about him. I just think he might fall in the depth chart just because Cole and Westbrook are going to continue to grow. So I don't know if that's sidestepping the question or not, but that's kind of what I see happening.
No, makes sense.
I thought so. Thanks, Joey.
So I think we kind of already addressed the concern running back.
mm-hmm.
So what was the third part of his Twitter question?
It was just his opinion on something.
Oh, the
Okay.
depth of the line.
Yeah, he was impressed by the depth of the line.
Which again, I mean,
We've talked about in the past. We've been
Yeah.
impressed with that for a while.
But
absolutely.
with Robinson down now, our depth is slowly fading away.
Yeah.
That's an issue.
Well, I think the quarterback Wells will be okay.
I think Wells stepped up, but who takes his place?
What other team in the NFL has a quarterback playing left tackle? I mean, only the Jags.
It was
Yeah.
hard to find one.
Yeah.
And punting. I mean, we're deep on quarterback.
we are. We got them all over the place. All right. Well, thank you guys for those Twitter questions. We want to make sure that any of you out there that have a question that you'd like for us to address, you can find us on Twitter at Another Jags Pod and ask away. And even if you don't have a question, check out our Twitter. Jason does a phenomenal job posting all sorts of clips of the game. We even get a little trash talk going from time to time.
I have to. It's in my nature.
It is.
Yeah.
So I have to say you hold back though.
I go to my personal Twitter account when I want to get spicy.
Right. Spicy. I like it. I thought it was salty, but what do I know? Let's get to some bold predictions for the game this week. And if you don't mind, could I go first? Because I have a feeling someone might steal
You
mine.
definitely should, because you said that with like an Irish accent. Bold prediction. That was good. I like
Predictions
that.
for the game. Yes, bold predictions for the game this Sunday. Mine is going to be we are going to see a special teams touchdown.
Ooh.
I don't think anyone's going to take that one.
No?
Actually,
Okay.
that ties right into mine.
It does.
So that's awesome. I think that we're going to see a fake punt by Marone just to
You
stick
say
it
this
to
every
him.
week.
Just to see.
At some
never
point,
called a
you
fake
got-
You're
punt.
just playing the averages.
Yeah. How many fakes have you called?
When did I
this year?
ever call a fake punt
I
as a
think you
bold
said
prediction?
the Giants game. You said we were
Nah.
going to fake something, didn't we?
Don't think so. Anyway, my second one, though, is, and I hope this happens just because I don't know if y'all know my personal background with Blaine Gabbert and my Gabbert versus Scobie story. It's a long story. Won't say it here, but
Thank God. It sounds riveting.
Gabbert is one of my least favorite football players on the planet. So I'm calling 8
I'd like
sacks.
to go home at some time tonight.
8 sacks and
You steal your girlfriend or
crying.
something?
Yeah.
no, not at
8
all.
sacks?
8 sacks.
Come on. I hope so. How many of those are from Unique?
I don't even care as long as they almost knock his head off. I'm good with it.
All right. 8 sacks.
All
Joey
right.
being kind of spiteful and
I am.
vengeful in that.
It is. I've got a chip on my shoulder against Gabbert.
Okay.
I'm going Fowler gets 2 sacks and a forced fumble again.
Wow. Riding
Back
the
to
Fowler
back.
train. Robert's he's got a point to prove with Fowler. I
do.
like
I'm with
it.
you there.
I like it.
Fowler too. All right, I'm going to take a page out of Robert's playbook here. I'm going to say Austin Swearingen-Jenkins has
Oh,
70 yards and 2 touchdowns.
but
Two
Jason, he is not
He's
a
not
yard guy. He is not a yard guy.
Oh, nice,
He's
Robert.
Oh.
He's not a yards guy. I mean, I think
Said in
he's
tongue in
got
cheek.
48 yards on the season. That's 24
Yeah,
yards a game.
He's
So
really killing me
definitely-
right now for my end
He's
of the season.
definitely not a
prediction.
yards guy. But the Titans linebacking core is so weak. You're looking at guys like Wesley Woodyard and Will Compton, terribly slow linebackers. Swearingen-Jenkins isn't the fastest guy ever, but I think Blake is just, it's going to be there so open, he's going to have to take it. I think other guys could be open on the outside, but he's just going to see Swearingen-Jenkins standing by himself in the middle of the field, that he's just going to keep dumping it off to him. So I think he's going to have a bunch of catches. I think he'll end up having around 70 yards, like I said, and then he'll probably get 2 touchdowns, I think. So
Nice.
I like it. Makes me wonder if I should start him in my fantasy. I got Travis Kelce, though. And
I wouldn't bitch
No.
Travis Kelce
No,
until
no.
you're given a reason to.
I wonder if I can flex him.
I
I don't know if he can in my league or not.
Are y'all PPR?
No.
He should be able to.
Then
Be,
I would flex him.
he should be able to be flexed, but I wouldn't.
You just said he's going to score 2 touchdowns.
But if he's not, if
And
it's not
70
a,
yards.
if it's
You're
not a
playing fantasy here, we're not talking about a podcast.
but it's not a PPR league though, is what he's saying.
No.
So
2 touchdowns.
that's 2
I
touchdowns.
give me
That's,
some points. So we have our bold predictions. I think most of them are saying Joey kind of went on a dark place with his, but that's all right.
Hey, man, I
still trying to
got to take my chance when I can.
That's right. Oh goodness. All right, let's talk about the rest of the division here. We have the Colts are playing at the Eagles and the Giants are playing at the Texans. Let's start with Colts at Eagles first. 1-1 Colts. The Colts won, didn't they? The Colts win.
Yeah,
on
the
Sunday?
Colts won one.
Yeah, they did.
Only Houston's 0-2.
Right. So Colts are 1-1 playing at the Eagles, who are also 1-1. Carson Wentz is back.
Yeah, Foles on the bench.
Foles on the bench. So, what do you guys think?
Colts get their butt kicked, man.
Oh,
No
yeah?
way that doesn't happen.
Okay.
My only reservation is that the Eagles defense has been giving a lot of points up. And going against Andrew Luck, even though they don't have a great team, I mean, I still think they lose, but I think it might be a closer game than people are going to give it credit to. I think they're going to put up points against them.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the Eagles aren't super impressive, but, I mean, the Colts aren't either, so I think it might be one of those games that is low scoring. Field goal wins it 17-20.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty ugly game. You know, Carson Wentz is an incredible quarterback, but it's his first game back. It's going to be some rust. But I'll go with a home team. The Eagles have been very lackluster this year. I mean, again, two weeks in. But, yeah, I don't know. If I don't bet on sports or anything for that matter, but if I did, I would stay away from this game because this could be one where it comes down late and it could be a 1 or 2 point win. You know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say it's going to be the third tie of the year. 3 weeks in a row for another tie.
That is bold.
That's bold.
I mean, yeah, the Eagles last week got an interception and a forced fumble, yet they still had like 27 points or something like that scored against them. I mean, that's just crazy. That's a weird defense going on right now.
It is. So I'll pick the Eagles, but it would not surprise me if the Colts win this game. So Joey and I are on opposite ends of the spectrum there. All right, moving right along, we have the Giants who are 0-2. Traveling to the Texans, who are also 0-2. Who gets the first win of the year?
Yeah, I mean, that's a game, like you talked about, the gamblers should stay away from. I mean, whenever 2 0-2 teams play each other, that's a no-go right there. But it's hard for me to see a situation where the Texans defense can do anything to stop Odell Beckham and Saquon Barkley. I mean, we struggled a little bit with that, and the Texans are way worse than us on defense. So I think, the Giants offense is just too much for the Texans. Poor Deshaun Watson, man. There's no way that guy makes it through the season. No way. He got hit so many times. It's impossible. I mean, he's so small. Every time he takes a hit, you're just he even got up slow a couple times. You're just like, man, this guy's not going to make it.
It's got to hurt.
Yeah, I think the Giants are the better, for sure, of the 0-2 teams in this matchup. So I think they win. I think Odell goes off. I think Barkley goes off. I think this might be Barkley's real coming out party. He had the big run against the Jags. I don't know what he did against the Cowboys. I didn't watch that game. I know it was a pretty ugly game.
He didn't do much.
Didn't sound like he didn't do much. Yeah,
he had 11. He was 11 attempts and only 28 yards.
Yeah, so I think that changes this week for sure. I think the Giants win going away. And I'm going to say this about the Texans. Starting off 0-3, I'm wondering if Bill O'Brien makes it through the season. I think things would get out of control for the Texans really quick because they have who they think they traded up for a franchise quarterback in Deshaun Watson, who they cannot, keep off the ground, as Jason was just alluding to. I don't know. This season could get out of control real quick for them. And so watch out, Houston Texans, to see, just what's going on there. 0-3, that's tough to come back from, especially when you have likes of the Jaguars in your own division, who are going to move to 3-0 and keep going. So, yeah, it doesn't look good for the Texans.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree that I think it would be a Giants absolute blowout if it wasn't in Houston. I still think the Giants win pretty easily. I think this is Odell's, start to the year. I think he breaks out on this one. Doesn't have a touchdown yet, but I think he definitely has one in that game. And, Jason Saquon, who knows? I mean, that could be a monster game for him. I mean, I agree with both you guys on that. And I think the Texans really should give old Tom Savage a call back. I mean, like the greatest quarterback name of all time. I mean, did better. Hopkins had yards. I mean, come on. Can't knock it last year.
I just don't get how Deshaun Watson just throws up these 50-50 balls. Like, he had 2 of the exact same interceptions in week 1 and week 2 where all play actions, throws the ball into the end zone to double coverage and gets intercepted. It's like, dude, are you not learning? Like, I know that's not Bill O'Brien. Bill O'Brien's not telling him to do that. So that's the problem when Bill O'Brien is calling the offense and the head coach. I mean, you can't really blame anyone else, but I mean, Deshaun Watson just looks like a lost baby deer out there, and it's unfortunate because he flashed last year a little bit.
And that's kind of joking about Savage, but I mean, Hopkins still had good numbers last year, even though they weren't a good team.
He's a good receiver.
He's a great receiver.
Yeah.
And the fact that him and Hopkins can't get any kind of chemistry together is kind of concerning. I mean, I'd be really worried about that.
Yeah, I'm standing by my Deshaun Watson is not doing anything this season, and I think Saquon Barkley is absolutely going to destroy them. I'm going to call like probably 130 yards, 2 touchdowns.
DeAndre Hopkins did have over 100 yards and a touchdown last week, so it wasn't like he did nothing. I mean,
Well, okay.
yeah, I mean, and Watson did throw for like I think 300 something yards, but I mean, he had that ugly interception.
A lot of it was like on like 2 or 3 plays, which is like Watson's MO.
Right.
He's a big play guy, and then can't do anything for you when you need it. I mean, they had a shot at the end of the game to go down the field and kick a field goal, and they couldn't even manage the clock right. I mean, they basically played prevent defense and gave Deshaun Watson 80 passing yards in the last minute of the game, and they had no timeouts. So you got to look at the game in context, because 80 of those 300 were just given to him at the end of the game. So it's, you know.
don't sound too high on Deshaun Watson.
I'm not. Just when I watch him, he just doesn't look good. And maybe it's because he's like skittish because his offensive line is terrible. I get that. I mean, that's what happened with Blaine Gabbert when he was here. You know, you're just so scared of getting hit that like you're like hearing stuff that's not there, and you're seeing stuff that's not there. And that's what happens when you have a bad offensive line. So the poor guy, he's got a cannon, but I don't think he makes good decisions, and I don't think he has a good cast around him.
Okay. So go ahead, Joey.
I was going to say, if everything pans out like that, I mean, we're looking at what, a 2-game lead in the conference?
And the division? Yeah. Well, let's see. Yes, we would be 3-0.
Yeah. Put Titans at 1-2. They put Colts at 1-2, and Texans at 0-3.
Yeah, that's a pretty good start to the season.
That'd be amazing.
But going back to our game against the Titans, everyone so far on Twitter and social media has been laughing at the prospect of Blaine Gabbert starting for the Titans this week. But we need to remind everyone that Blaine Gabbert beat the Jaguars last year.
Yeah, he did well
in Arizona, with a team that looks absolutely atrocious this year, might I add, in the Arizona Cardinals. So, don't get too cocky with Blaine Gabbert playing, as he beat us last year.
And he didn't look awful in San Francisco either. He wasn't great. I'm not saying he's a great quarterback by any means, but I mean, he's gotten to the point where he's at least a serviceable backup where he could sneak one on you at any given point in time.
If Gabbert is the reason we lose to the Titans, I might not even be able to do this anymore.
You're going to quit? That's a bold prediction.
I might not be able to handle
No,
that.
you said it. You're quitting.
They're going back.
I said might.
Yeah, no. I mean, there's just no way. But anyway, still, it's just something to kind of consider.
Mariota might be worse than Gabbert, I think, is maybe your point that you could have made. Because Gabbert has better numbers this year than Mariota does.
Mariota's overrated. I don't know why people are so in love with him.
Our history against him, man. He's crushed us with his legs like multiple. I mean,
He doesn't have legs anymore.
yeah,
Those are gone.
They got taken out.
it's good to know.
It's kind of like just
Gabbert's
Sean
probably a
Watson's.
better runner. I mean, I don't know about that, but Gabbert's
No,
accurate, man.
They're bad.
Say
is
what
it
you want
boils
about
down
him,
to.
but that dude puts the ball where it needs to be.
Yeah.
You know,
Till after the 3rd sack.
3rd or 8th?
No, after the 3rd.
Well,
well,
the third,
when
yeah.
they come out in that Wildcat, we'll have to worry about. I mean, their 2 highest graded out quarterbacks are their special teams safety, who threw the touchdown pass on the fake punt, and Derrick Henry, who's 1 for 1 with a pass. I don't know who it was too, but
On that point, we are pretty much guaranteed to win because I took the flyer that Derrick Henry would have a good fantasy year this year. So I've got him on both my fantasy teams. So which guarantees he's going to do nothing in this game.
You only did that because he's from Yulee.
Absolutely.
Okay.
100%.
All right, just making sure.
Yeah.
I mean, Deion Lewis has had a better year than Derrick Henry so far.
Rub it in, Jason. Thank
I'm
you.
just saying. I mean, facts.
I would have said that at the beginning of the year. That doesn't surprise me
Yeah.
in any way.
Is he from Yulee?
I don't think so.
No, dang.
Maybe McClenny.
Sounds like a California guy. Dion.
Yeah, I don't think anyone named Dion is from Yulee.
Deion might move in. He's moving out quick.
Yeah. All right, so it sounds like it's going to be a really good weekend for the Jags because they're going to extend their lead in the division, have another home win, which will carry on into another home game the following week against the Jets, who, if you were paying attention, did not look very good.
Week 1 they did, though. But
Week 1 they did. It's a week-to-week league for sure.
Yeah.
For a lot of teams, not for others.
Yeah.
So, anyway, anything else you guys want to add?
I mean, what a time to be a Jags fan. Man, that's really all you can say. I mean, it's amazing. So happy.
It's been a lot of fun. It's already going by too fast.
I know.
We're in our third game of the season.
Yeah.
I hate that.
But then I wanted to speed up for the game to come up. I'm like,
I know.
Come on.
I know.
I mean, I think on the way home from the game on Sunday, I was like, all right, Tennessee, let's go.
Yeah.
So if we're feeling that way, how much more are the players on the team?
Oh, God.
You know, so there shouldn't be any concern about any sort of hangover from the Patriots game going in this week. If anything, I think it amps it up even more.
I have zero concern about that with this squad, especially the coaching staff.
We played so well against the Patriots. It's like I was putting all the good clips on Twitter. It took me 2 days just to put them all up. Like, there's no game has been like that in a long time.
Were there tears running down your face as you were posting those clips?
I honestly had to like make myself. I had to like, all right, you need to wait. You know, don't post it right away because people aren't going to look at it if you post 3 in a row in a minute. So I had to wait. It was tough, but it was fun. It was fun. It was fun watching Tony Romo call the game. That was awesome. I'd recommend go back and watching it with his commentary. It was really good.
He does a great job.
I think he likes the Jaguars.
Yeah, I mean, he did pick us to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's true.
So thanks, Tony Romo, for that. I appreciate it. You know, before we go, Tony Romo is going to, I saw someone post this on Twitter. Tony Romo is going to get both our coordinators head coaching jobs next year because of how much he talks them up during games. So
I hope not. I hope they stay.
yeah, I'm just saying. All right, let's go wrap up our podcast. That's episode 31. Made it 31, boys. That's the dream right there.
It is.
Thanks for listening. Remember, you can find us on social media, Another Jags Pod on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, Another Jags Podcast. Send us your questions on Twitter. We'd love to read them. We will see you guys after we defeat the in-division rivals, Tennessee Titans. So you guys take care, and as always, go Jags.
Jags.